I knew you were spying on me. Today we are going to do a blind taste test to find out, once and for all, which brand of root beer is the best. So if you love root beer, smash that like button and let's get going. Guys, today I'm going to teach you some English using 4 kinds of root beer. Do you love learning English? I hope so, because you're going to learn a bunch of new words in this blind taste test. Now, what is a blind taste test? Well, it's where you're not letting your eyes judge the different brands. You're letting your taste buds, those little things on your tongue, are called taste buds. So we're going to blindfold ourselves. Not ourselves, I mean me. You're not going to be blindfolded. So, and we're going to just taste each of them to see which one is the best. Okay, so that's what a blind taste test is. Now, root beer is a North American drink. It's not very popular outside North America. So if you are from a different country, you might be wondering, well, what is root beer? Look, it's got the word beer in it. So is it beer? That's a great question. The answer is no, it's not. It's a kind of pop. It has nothing to do with beer. It's a kind of pop. Here in Canada, we use the word pop. In the US, they use the word soda. Okay, so it's just like, any other, like Coke, Pepsi, Sprite, 7-Up, Fanta, all those ones, right? It's a kind of pop. Now, one interesting thing about this is that I was looking at these cans, and these 3 say no caffeine. Okay, so if you don't like caffeine, then don't choose this one. This is the one with the caffeine, okay? So, guys, a blind taste test. Let's see. Let me just ask you right away. Do you like any of these? Do you have a preference? If you have a preference, let me know down in the comments, because I actually don't know what the difference is between these. I've had all of them, but I've never had them all side by side. So I've never done a taste test, so I have no idea what the difference is. I've never considered it before. So that's what this episode is for. I'm curious to find out which one is the best. I'm excited about this, guys. I've never done this before. Have you ever done a blind taste test before? Well, guys, right off the top, I can say that this can is the most aesthetically pleasing. Okay, this brand mug, it's the most aesthetically pleasing. Okay, so what does that sentence mean? I said off the top. What does that means? Without thinking about it. Okay, it's just a thought that came into my head spontaneously. Okay, I haven't thought about it, but just off the top, I would say, this brand is the most aesthetically, this can, look at that. It's got a picture of a dog. And I kind of like this white part up here, this like foam up there. It looks kind of cool. But, that's totally subjective. Okay, maybe you have a different preference. I should just introduce these, okay? So we've got A&W. We got Mug root beer, we got Barks root beer, and we've got just a generic brand. Okay, this is just the cheapest brand, just generic. So it's not actually a real. It's not like a root beer brand. It's it's President's Choice, which here in Canada is just a generic brand. So it's not really like a brand like these. you won't see any commercials on TV for these like generic brands. Okay, they don't spend their money on commercials, but you'll probably see commercials, maybe for each of these on TV. I'm not sure. Okay, so I would say this is the most aesthetically pleasing. What do you think? But like I said, that's just subjective. Subjective means it's just my opinion. Okay, you might have a different opinion. So let me know which can looks the best. I would say this is probably the best. I don't know. It's a toss-up. For second place, it's a toss-up between this and this. A toss-up, you can use that when you're not sure about something. It's a toss-up, like between two things. You can say, it's a toss-up. So I'm not sure which second place. This is, like usually generic brands don't waste much time or money on designing an attractive, an attractive aesthetic. Okay, so aesthetic means, so I said off the top, mug root beer. This can, has the nicest aesthetics. Aesthetics refers to the appearance of something. Okay, so obviously with a root beer taste test, we're not including aesthetics as a factor in our evaluation. I'm just going to use my taste buds. I don't care about the aesthetics. But it was just a thought that popped into my head. I said, off the top, it doesn't really matter, but this can, the mug root beer, has the most pleasing aesthetics. Okay, so let me know if you agree or disagree. So, guys, should we get down to our taste test, or should we learn it? Just a few more words of English. Now, I don't have a vested interest in any of these companies. Okay, I don't have a vested interest. Okay, what that means is I have no preference on which one wins or which one loses. I don't care. I don't have a vested interest. Okay, but imagine if I had some investments in A&W. Okay, if I had some stock, I don't know if they have stocks on the stock market, but imagine if I had some stock in A&W. Well, then I would have a vested interest, right? Then I would be kind of hoping this one wins, so that this company gets more, more successful, and maybe my investments will go up, right? So then I would have a vested interest. But right now, I don't have any vested interest. Guys, I don't have any skin in the game. I have no skin in the game. That means I'm just a spectator in this, right? I don't have any vested interest. So the idiom, no skin in the game, just means it's a slang way of saying you have no vested interest. You're just kind of, I don't care who wins. I don't like any of these companies. And I'm sure they don't like me. In fact, they probably hate me. So, I don't know. I hope the winner is the company that hates me the least. What do you guys think? Which company do you think hates me the least? So, guys, that's what vested interest means. I don't hate these companies, guys. I don't have a bone to pick with any of them. Okay, I don't have a bone to pick with any of them. They haven't offended me. They've never hurt me. They've never tried to do anything bad to me. So I don't have a bone to pick with any of them. A bone to pick means you have some argument, some issue with, you're angry at them for something, and you want to, there's some negative feelings that you have toward them. I don't know. I don't have a bone to pick. Now, imagine if I went to A&W restaurant, actually, this is the only brand that is actually a place. So A&W is a brand. It's a restaurant here in Canada and the US, right? So imagine if I went to A&W one day and they treated me like garbage. Well, then, I might have a bone to pick with A&W, right? Then I might be thinking, yeah, I hope A&W loses because they treated me like crap. But I don't remember ever having an experience where I got treated badly at A&W. So I don't have a bone to pick with A&W. I don't have a bone to pick with any of these brands. Okay? I love root beer, though. How about you? Do you love root beer? It's just a great, refreshing drink. So, guys, I don't have any preconceived notions about any of these companies. I'm not sure which is going to taste. I have no idea, like, if they're all going to taste the same or if they're all going to be different. Now, one thing I should mention is that this can, the generic one, it says old-fashioned style root beer on there. I don't know this was the only brand of generic root beer that they had at the store. So I'm assuming they're all the same. I don't know what old-fashioned style means. I don't know if that has some sort of different taste. But I have no preconceived notions. What that means is that I don't have any ideas about what they're going to taste like. I have no preconceived. That means before, right? I haven't tasted any of these. I haven't done my taste test yet, so I have no idea. Which one is going to taste better or worse, or I don't know. Now I should mention something though. So it's true I don't have any preconceived notions, but very often when people see generic brands of things, they think the generic brand is the worst. They kind of have this idea, they have a preconceived notion that the generic products are going to be the lowest quality because they're usually the cheapest in price. Okay, so some people might have a preconceived notion that this is going to taste the worst. This is going to lose. But I know that that's not true most of the time, right? So I don't have that preconceived notion, but that's why we're doing a blind taste test, right? So I have no idea. I'm gonna have no idea which one I'm tasting. I won't know that this is the generic one when I try it, right? So, that's why it's good to do a blind taste test. I just wanted to mention that because if this was not a blind taste test, if I was looking at them and trying them, well, then that knowledge of the price, it might affect my judgment to make this one lose. I might have a preconceived notion, but I don't. Actually, I know that the way brands often work is that sometimes, it's very possible that maybe one of these companies actually makes this one, but just labels it as a different brand. Do you know what I mean? Like maybe this company, President's Choice, maybe they don't want to make their own root beer, so they buy one of these people's root beer at a discount, and they just call it this, and it's just rebranded and it's sold cheaper. I don't know, guys. That happens that happens actually very often, where one company will make two like lines of products or have two different labels, but it's the exact same product. One is just sold for more and the other is sold for less. I have no idea. So I have no preconceived notions. Now, there's one more thing that I want to mention, and that is that I think the only TV commercials I've seen are for Barq's root beer. Okay, so on Barq's root beer, you can see it says there, it says with bite. Does it say with? Oh, has bite. It says it has bite. Okay, and if you watch the commercials, they'll say Barq's with a bite. Okay, so what does bite mean? Okay, bite means kind of like a strong flavor. Okay, so we often use this word bite. If a food or a drink or something has bite, that means it might be a bit spicy. It might be a little bit like, just a little bit more intense flavor. You know, so I don't know why that would be. I'm not sure. It might just be the company's slogan. Slogan, it means just their line, right, that they say. Like, for example, McDonald's, their slogan is, McDonald's, I'm loving it, right? Ba-da-ba-ba-ba, I'm loving it. Okay, that's McDonald's slogan. Well, Barq's slogan is it has a bite. I don't know if this one has I don't think Mug has a slogan. I don't know if, I don't think A&W has a slogan. I'm not sure. But you know what's interesting is that this is the only one with caffeine. So this one on the side, it says it has 22 milligrams of caffeine per can. So is it the caffeine that gives it a bite? I don't know, guys. What does caffeine even taste like? I mean, I know coffee has caffeine, tea has caffeine, but just pure caffeine, what does it taste like? Is it the caffeine that gives the drink a bite? I don't know, guys. But yeah, the word bite, it can be used for something that's spicy. Like you could say, I like this brand of hot sauce because this brand has a bit of a bite to it. Okay, that means that brand of hot sauce is just a bit more flavorful, a bit stronger. Maybe it's more spicy or something like that, right? So that's what bite means. What about you? Give me an example. Which food or drink do you like that has kind of a bite? Anyway, so it might be the caffeine content that gives this one the bite. I really have no idea. So I just think that's interesting that these three don't have caffeine. This one does have caffeine, so just keep that in mind if you're drinking a can of pop before you go to bed. Maybe you don't want the caffeine, but maybe you do want the caffeine. Maybe if you're trying to stay up all night. I don't know, maybe if you're working or something. Maybe you need a bit of caffeine, so in that case you might want to choose this one. I don't know. But that's, okay, so the commercial on TV, right? That, it says it barks with a bite. So I'm kind of, I might have a preconceived notion, like a preconceived idea, that this one might be the strongest. Okay, so when I'm drinking these, I don't know if there's going to be any difference, but I kind of have in my mind the two things that might influence my judgment. Okay, the two factors that might influence my judgment, that means might, affect my decision. The two factors that might influence my judgment are that I'm kind of expecting this to be the strongest. I'm expecting this one to be the strongest flavor, and I'm kind of maybe expecting this one to be just the cheapest taste. But in terms of other factors like creaminess or smooth, like it's kind of a smooth texture or sweetness, I have no idea. I really have no idea. And the other thing is I could look to see which one has the most sugar, but I haven't done that. I haven't looked to see which ones have the most sugar. They're probably all the same, guys. And besides, this is going to be a blind taste test, so it doesn't matter anyway, right? If I know which, they're all the same, guys. They've all got 43. They've all got 43 grams of sugar per per can, except this one has 45. So this one has caffeine and it's a bit sweeter. Maybe that's why this one has a bit of a bite. Do they have any vitamin content, guys? There are no vitamins in here. Ooh, this one has some potassium, guys. This one's got 10 milligrams of potassium. It's good to get some potassium. Oh, that one has some. They've all got a bit of sodium. Yeah, no protein. No proteins, guys. So we're not bulking up with these. But, so, let's see. Any other, did I explain what slogan meant? A slogan is kind of a company's tagline that they use, right? Like, barks with a bite. Anyway, guys, we've done enough talking now. I hope you learned some English. So let's get on our blindfold. And actually, before I do that, I'm just going to put these in. I'm going to put all 4 of these, okay, in here. And I'm just going to kind of once I blindfold myself, I'm just going to kind of, you know, mix them around a bit so I don't remember where they were on the table. Okay, or not table. This is my counter, my kitchen counter. All right, so we're gonna blindfold ourselves here. Look at that. Okay, so I'm gonna be blind as a bat, guys. If you can't see anything, you're blind as a bat. Okay, so look at there. I can't see anything under here. I can't see anything from anywhere. I'm literally blind as a bat. So we're gonna do our. Okay, we're just gonna spin this around. We're gonna do. I don't want to dump them out on the. We're gonna mix them. I don't remember anyway. So anyway, guys, let's just get down to business. Take out the first one. I'm so excited. I'm so excited, guys. So let's see. I'm just gonna taste them randomly, and we're gonna see which one I like the best. Here we. Whoa, is that overflowing? I kind of feel like it might have overflowed a bit. Where's the... Oh, that's good. That is great, guys. All right, let's try another one. Where is that thing? There you go. There we go, guys. You want the first sip? I don't even. Is it overflowing? Hope not. Here's the first sip, guys. You can have the first sip. Okay, where are we here? Here we go. It tastes a bit different than that one, actually. I can taste a bit of difference there. But basically the same idea, right? So here we go for our third one. I guess I have no idea which one's good. I wouldn't be surprised if the generic brand wins. It would be funny if the generic brand won. Okay, so here we go for number 3. Man, I have no... They taste very similar. I would say this might be the most creamy of them so far. I'm not sure. I'll do 2... Well, okay. This is just the first taste. This is the first round, okay. And then afterwards, I'll actually evaluate them and put them in an order of which one I think is the best. Okay, so where is the can here? Where's the tab? You can call that thing a tab. Okay, so to open a can of pop, you need to lift up the tab. So I just lifted up the tab. Here we go. Oh, that's actually very different. Oh, guys. Sorry, guys. My alarm just went off on my camera while I was recording. Oh, that was annoying. But I didn't take my blindfold off. I just kind of peeked out like this from the top just to turn off my alarm. Okay, we're still going. I think we're recording. I hope so. We're good. So okay. So just before the alarm went off, I think this was the last one I tasted, and I noticed it tasted actually significantly different from the other ones. I would say this one tastes the least like root beer. This one almost tastes a little bit more like like maybe like Pepsi or Coke or something. Yeah. Let me just, okay. Let me feel for them again. Let me do a, okay. I'll put them in order of my favorite and least favorite. Okay, here we go. Ready? So, yeah, this one tastes a lot more like root beer than the last one. So, okay, where's number 2? Okay, that one and this. This one's kind of got a flavor like it's a little bit too. How do I explain it? This one tastes a little bit too much like. Do you know that like A535 rub that you put on your like aching joints? You know, if you're like if you've got sore joints or something like that, you know, you might put on that cream. There's different brand names. It's like A535 or Ben Gay or Winto Gen. I think it's called, or Winter Green or something like that. It's kind of got that, you know, that yeah. So between these, I'm just okay. Yeah, this one, I don't like this one as much. This one's a bit too much like winter, like that Winto Gen, and like Ben Gay or A535 taste. And where's our third one? The third one's here. So I would say this one might be the most mild, and I think it's the most creamy and the most mild. Let me just compare. Yeah. This one is the most mild, but it's also the most creamy. So I'm going to say my favorite so far are these two. I'm just going to try the fourth one again. Let's see. This one tastes very different. This one, it's got actually a weaker flavor of root beer, but I kind of have a hunch that this one might be the Barks because it's different. Like, guys, I don't know what caffeine tastes like, but if I'm imagining correctly, this one might be the one with caffeine, and which would mean it's the Barks. But this one has the weakest root beer flavor. It's like I said, it's more like maybe Coke or Pepsi or something like that. So I'm gonna I'm gonna disqualify those other two. We're down to my favorite are these two. So guys, last taste test to see, and I should at least guess which one is which, right? Okay, so okay. You know, even though this one is maybe the most creamy, I like the flavor. I like the balance of this one. It's got a nice balance of root beer flavor and creaminess. This one over here was too much like Ben Gay. This one it's just maybe a little bit lower on the flavor side, and this one is like a different drink to me. This one's like, I don't know. Like, if I'm drinking a root beer, I want it to taste like root beer. Okay, so I have no idea, guys. I'm going to do my test now. Like I said, I've never in my whole life, I've never had any of these drinks side by side. So I have no idea. So I'm going to make my guesses, okay? I'm going to guess this is the Barks. Is that yeah, that's the last one. Okay, I'm going to say this is the Barks. I'm going to say, I'll say this is the A&W root beer here. And I'm going to say this tastes the cheapest. This actually tastes the cheapest. I'm going to say this one is the generic, which leaves us with Mug. I'm gonna say this is Mug and this is my favorite, okay? So guys, let's do the grand reveal. I'm so... Wow, I got it right! I got them all right! What about... Can you imagine that, guys? I have never tasted these side by side and I got it right. Sorry guys, this is a bit over here. You didn't even... Probably couldn't even see. I should have scooched over this way a bit. Just scooch over. That means to move a little bit. Scooch over, right? So, guys, I just want to check, are we still recording? Yeah, we are. Sorry about that, my alarm went off. I'm teaching English here in a few minutes. Is that clock right? Guys? Good. My oven, my stove clock is half an hour. No, it's an hour ahead of where it should be. I got them right. That is astonishing. I definitely wasn't expecting that. But wow. Guys, we are seeing... I'm actually very surprised about this because the stereotypes actually played out. If something plays out, it means it happened. It happened, right? Like, I had no... okay, so we were expecting this to be maybe the strongest one. It was the strongest, but it was the least root beery flavored. This one was just a bit too... I don't know. It just tasted like it had the least... It was the least refined of them. And sure enough, it's the no-name brand. I would say it's... I can taste the difference, guys. Like... Yeah. This one is my least favorite, and it's the cheapest. Interesting. So yeah, my like it was a kind of a toss up between these two brands, A&W and Mug. And you know, great, very good root beer. It's just you know. Mug has a bit more of a bite. I like that. I like that this one is a perfect blend of smooth, creamy, and you know, but it has a bite. It has a root beer taste. Like this one, the difference between Barks. Yeah, it has. I guess you could say it has a bite. But I would even say Mug has more of a bite. It's got more of a flavor. This one's just more like, just got, maybe this one they just dumped in some caffeine and some extra sugar without the more flavor. Because this one has the most flavor to it. Definitely. I'm surprised. I wasn't expecting this big of a difference between the brands. But guys, doing a blind taste test like this is actually kind of useful because now if I ever want to buy root beer from the store, I'm going to buy Mug. Great. It's the most aesthetically pleasing. I like looking at the can. Looks nice. It tastes the best in my blind taste test. So, you know, it's up to you. Maybe you need to do a blind taste test to see, you know, which is your favorite, because this is just subjective, right? You might like this one better. You might like this one. I mean, if you like Coke or Pepsi, this one kind of tastes more like half root beer, half Pepsi. Okay, this one I wouldn't recommend. This no-name brand, this generic brand. It tastes the least refined. Refined means like kind of a good... The taste has been carefully adjusted to make it the perfect blend. This one doesn't taste refined. Yeah, I would avoid that one. So there we go. The stereotypes, they played out as kind of as we were, as I was expecting. Now, I'm not sure, I can't remember the price difference. I'm not sure if there's a I know this was the cheapest. Okay, I don't know, I can't remember. I think they're all the same. Basically, these three, I think, are all basically the same price. I don't know, maybe $1 difference, or I can't remember. But honestly, if I'm ever going to go to the store to buy root beer again, this is the one I'm buying. Mug Root Beer. So congratulations to Mug. You are the victor of Mark's blind taste test. But, you know, if someone ever offers me any of these, it's all right. I'll accept it. I don't have a bone to pick with any of them. Well, there you have it, guys. Thank you so much for joining me in this taste test. I really appreciate it. Hope you're doing great. As always, I love you so much. You know, get yourself a nice cold can of Mug Root Beer. I hope they hire me. Hey, Mug, if you're listening to me, you just won the blind taste test. So think of throwing a couple bones my way. Sometimes people use the word bones for money. You know, throw a few bones my way. Kind of a slang way to say, throw me some money, Mug. I hope they send me some money, or maybe some free root beer. So there it is, guys. Let me know if you have a preference. If you have any, you know, if you have any or like. Maybe you have tried these and you have a different order of like I would say this is definitely, for me, it's this first, second, third, fourth. Maybe you disagree. It's all subjective, right? Anyway, guys, that's it. Thank you so much for joining me. And as always, I'll see you over in the next episode of Mad English TV. Take care.